Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Risa Victoria of Axezoriz Crochet. Today, I'll be sharing with you part 2 of how to crochet throw pillowcase using corner-to-corner stitch. If you follow along part 1 of the video tutorial, you are now very much familiar in making blocks of corner-to-corner stitch and how to increase each row until you have reached the desired length of your project. As per the design, 36 row is the last row for the first half. The next section or sections will be covering the reverse. It is denoted as the row number with a negative sign, which means we will decrease the number of blocks each row. Let's pick up where we left off by chaining 1 and turn. Then slip stitch in the next 3 stitches. This is 1, 2, and 3. Slip stitch on chain space to start the first block of row negative 35. Then chain 2, 3 double crochets, all in the same chain space. Then slip stitch on the next chain space. Notice that it forms a straight edge, and this will be the part of one side of a perfect square. If you want a rectangle, you will decide whether this side you will decrease and continue increasing the other side until you reach the desired length of your project. Then chain 2 to begin inner blocks and 3 double crochet on the same chain space. Then after this, do the remaining blocks till the end of row negative 35 and I'll see you there. This is the last block of row negative 35. Let's finish it by chain 2 and 3 double crochet in the same chain space. Notice that I left this marker on this side for 2 reasons. First, to let us know that this is the last row of first half or the 36th row. And second, to alert us that at this point we should do an increase if the shape of our project is a rectangle, as I mentioned before, and do an increase if it is square. And that is the next thing we will do because the throw pillowcase we are working on is a square. So we will start row negative 34 by slip stitch on the chain space, chain 1, and turn like what we did earlier. Then 3 slip stitches on the next 3 double crochet of the previous row. Then slip stitch on the next chain space to start the inner blocks. Then chain 2 and 3 double crochet. Again, let's do the inner blocks and I shall see you at the end of row -34. This is now the last block of row -34. We shall slip stitch on chain space, chain 1, and turn to begin row -33. Then slip stitch on the next 3 stitches. This is 1, 2, and 3. Let's grab the yarn with shade number 10 or the ginger. Let loose this one loop from hook and make a loop from ginger yarn. Insert the hook on chain space. Insert the hook on the loop made from ginger yarn. Pull through on the chain space and pull through to the loop on hook. Give a little tug to tighten the loop. Then tie a knot. Chain 2, let me just cut the dark chocolate brown yarn. Let me just turn the work. Then continue 3 double crochet on the chain space. This is now the first block of row -33. Then let's continue. This time we will do 2 rows of the same color of yarn. So I'll see you at the end of row -32. Let's take a look at our project. This is 2 rows of ginger yarn. I'm almost done with row negative 32. I will do the last block with you. Again, let's chain 2, 3 double crochet on chain space. Slip stitch on the chain space, chain 1 and turn. Slip stitch on the next 3 stitches, insert the hook on chain space. Let's grab the yarn with shade number 87, make a loop, insert the loop on the hook as so, and pull through. Tie a knot. Then, chain 2 again to start the first block of row negative 31. 3 double crochet on the same chain space. Continue doing the inner blocks of row negative 31 and I'll see you there. Let's take a look at our project. We are now at the last block and slip stitch is done already. Follow the steps we have done earlier on how to decrease a row and change the color of the yarn. As of this case, you have to change it to off-white yarn. Then make 5 rows starting row negative 30. I will show you updates of each sections or the next sections, and I will see you at row negative 1. Let's go back with our design. Row negative 30 to row negative 26 is a 5 rows of an off-white yarn. Row negative 25 to row negative 20, another set of changing colors. Then another section of 5 rows of off-white yarn that will be row negative 19 to row negative 15. Then another series of changing colors. And the last section will be 11 rows of off-white yarn. And this will be from row negative 11 to row negative 1. And let's take a look at our project section by section. Row negative 30 to row negative 26. Row negative 25 to row negative 20. Row negative 19 to row negative 15. Row negative 14 to negative 12. And the last is row negative 11 to row negative 1. This is our last row, row negative 1. Let me finish it with you by chain 2, then 3 double crochet on chain space. Then slip stitch. You may cut off the white yarn now to get ready for our border. Before getting into the border, let us first hide our tails. These are our tails, the ones we tied up. Every time we begin a new project and every time we change the color of the yarn, we have tails. To begin, let us untie this knot so we can lessen the bulkiness of the knot as I have mentioned earlier. This is how I do it. Then, with your tapestry needle, insert the yarn to the eye of the needle as so. And start sewing it in with the same color of yarn. I always choose to go to the nearest 3 double crochet because this is the best place to bury our tails. Let's sew it in here. In here. And in here. Check the other side if your yarn is not visible. We have reached the 3 double crochet and let's sew it in here. You may go further, but for this demonstration, I will stick to this block. Come back and sew it in there again, but to a different side of the stitch where the yarn comes out. I think this is good enough. See that this knot is still obvious. Let me cut the ginger yarn first, then let's do the other yarn. Let's insert the tapestry needle here and thread the needle as so. The tail is so short. Obviously, I am having a hard time to thread the needle. So next time, cut the tail with enough length. The knot is still obvious, but give it a little tug and it's gone. Let's continue hide this tail here, in here, and here. Let's check the other side. We reach the 3 double crochet and sew it here. Check again the back side. Come back into the different side and sew it here. Then cut the yarn. Do this to all of the tails. Once cleaned up, make another one. This is now our project. Nice and clean. No trace of the knots and tails. Also, the other side is done. Very much identical, even with the color of the marker. Both are now ready for a simple border. So let's begin. I'd like to start with an off-white yarn, so I choose a block with the same color so that later we can hide the tails with ease. Insert the hook here and grab the yarn. And make a slip stitch. Then chain 1 to raise the yarn and begin row 1 with single crochet, then chain 2. Then repeat single crochet into the next block and chain 2. Again, single crochet on the next block and chain 2. Keep on repeating this until you reach the corner. Do not miss any of the inner blocks. We are now at the last block before the corner. Chain 2 is done. Then, let's do a single crochet in the end of this block. This is the corner with a marker on. Let's do a single crochet on chain space. Then chain 3 and single crochet. Start the next side in here with single crochet and chain 2. Keep on repeating single crochet and chain 2 until you reach the next corner. Then do single crochet, chain 3 and single crochet on the chain space of that corner. Do this on the next 3 sides and I'll see you at the end of the row. This is the last block of row 1. We shall do single crochet and chain 2 and slip stitch to the first single crochet. Cut the yarn. Row 2. You can start at anywhere, but I chose the black with the shade number 87 because this will be the next shade of yarn we are going to use. Insert the hook in here, make a loop, insert the hook on the loop and pull through on chain space. Make a slip stitch, chain 1, 2 single crochet, then chain 1 Again, 2 single crochet on the next chain space. Then chain 1. Then again. Do this until you reach the corner. This is the last block before the corner. Let's do 2 single crochet on chain space and chain 1. At the corner, single crochet on chain space, chain 3, and single crochet. To the side again, chain 1, then repeat 2 single crochet on chain space, let's take a look. This is the last chain and this is the corner. This is chain 1 on the next side and the first 2 single crochet, chain 1, then 2 single crochet on chain space and chain 1 until we reach the next corner. Repeat again what we did to the other sides and corners, then I'll see you at the end of row 2. This is the last block of row 2. Continue 2 single crochet on chain space and chain 1. Slip stitch on first single crochet. And cut the yarn. For row 3, another off-white yarn, so I will start here. Again, grab the yarn, pull through on chain space, slip stitch, chain 1, single crochet on the first single crochet of the previous row, single crochet on the next stitch, single crochet on the next stitch till you reach the corner. At the corner, single crochet on single crochet of the previous row and 3 single crochet on chain space. Then single crochet on single crochet of the previous row. Back to the side, single crochet on all stitches. Repeat all this till you reach the end of the row, and I'll see you there. This is the end of row 3. Just a few more single crochet and slip stitch on first single crochet. Let's cut the yarn. Do this on the other side and let's join them. Welcome back. I already done with the border for both sides, and also with the hiding the tails. It's all cleaned up. To start, I put markers on each corners, joining both sides, so that I would know that each side has the same number of stitches for each corner. If ever I missed one, I can adjust at once. We will use the 2 loops of each single crochet of the previous row from both sides. For convenience, let's align it like this. Let's insert the hook here at the blue marker. Grab the yarn with shade number 87 and pull through. Then slip stitch and chain 1. Slip stitch on the same stitch and chain 1. This will be our pattern. Again, slip stitch on the next stitch and chain 1. Repeat again. Insert the hook on the 2 loops of each single crochet. Pull through. Press the loop down, then pull through on the loop. And chain 1. One more time, slip stitch chain 1. Let's do another one, slip stitch and chain 1. This is what the slip stitch and chain 1 combination looks like. It is simple but forms a nice zigzag pattern. It is good for edging. Continue this in all 3 sides and I'll see you there. Let's take a look. This is where we've started. Then I go all the way in all 3 sides. Both sides are now joined by slip stitch and chain 1 pattern. A few more slip stitch and chain 1 here. We've reached the corner, slip stitch and chain 1 here. Let's remove now the markers. We will not join this side. We let it open for the zipper. What we'll do is to continue slip stitch and chain 1 pattern for this side. Then I'll come back when we reach the blue marker. We almost reached the blue marker. Continue slip stitch and chain 1. At the blue marker, one more slip stitch and chain 1. Let's remove the marker. Slip stitch on both single crochet on previous row. Then slip stitch on the first single crochet of the other side. Then chain 1. Let's continue slip stitch and chain 1. We have now a continuous edging at this corner. Let's continue slip stitch and chain 1 until we reach the orange marker. A few more slip stitch and chain 1 before the marker. Slip stitch on the single crochet where the orange marker is, then chain 1. Let's remove the orange marker. Then slip stitch on the first slip stitch. And pull the yarn. As in your case, you may cut the yarn at this point. Now our project is ready for the zipper. For the enclosure, I pinned down the zipper to the project and sew it by hand using ordinary thread and needle. After sewing the zipper, this is now our project. Let's put our insert. I prefer zipper for enclosure because you can easily put in the insert and put it out when we need to wash it. I think this is all for today's tutorial. I hope you enjoyed the time with me. If you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, please do so by clicking the subscribe button. Also, don't forget to click the notification bell for you to be notified once an update or new upload is out. Happy crocheting and have a great day!